Alright guys, what's up? Been reloading now for about 3 weeks or so, and I was going to do a video here to just talk about some reloading tips and how I prepare my brass, and also get into some of the parts here on this Lee turret press. It's not the classic again, it's just the regular turret, which means I can just reload handgun ammunition, so it won't do any kind of rifle or anything like that, so which is fine. I mean, for what I want, this is going to work out pretty good, and has worked out pretty good so far. I've reloaded close to 1,000 rounds in about 3.5 weeks, and as far as really setting it up and kind of preparing yourself for reloading, you definitely need to be organized. I'll show kind of what I got set up here on my table as far as like my projectiles. I have them in one box. My brass I have in another tray, and then my completed rounds, of course, I have in another tray. And I also have kind of a quality control box that any kind of damaged brass or anything, different primer pockets, the small primer pockets for the 45, I throw in that box. So really just kind of wanted to give an example of what I'm doing, and anybody that might be getting into reloading using this Lee press, heads up on some of the issues and problems that I ran across so far. So when I prepare my cases, my actual brass, I have a single stage set up out in my garage. So I actually deprime and tumble and clean my brass in a totally different location. So that's how I prep my cases first, and then when I come down to the man cave here and I get ready to reload, I kind of have it set up the different stages. I have my die set up, I have my recipe for my as far as my powder goes, and of course you got your primers and everything that you're going to set up. I've already tested a couple of different loads and amounts and pressures and all that, so have my recipes already worked out. The big thing is that you get your turret set up, you get your dies set up in the right depth and everything, and cinched down. Once you get all that done, it's just a matter of kind of concentrating and paying attention to what's going on. The problem that I was running across, and what I had heard and got some messages on, was this indexing rod and how it actually rotates the turret in a counterclockwise with every throw of the arm here. So this is an issue. I'm not sure what Lee, if Lee is going to do anything in the future for this, but I can give anybody a heads up if you are getting into a press like this. Make sure that you're not doing any kind of manual adjustments or manually turning of the turret with the ram, the arm, lower than these actual dials here. So where the threads are twisted, you do not want to manually adjust this top turret or any of that. You want to, if you're going to turn it, you want to be up top here like this. So that's the biggest thing. If you try to do it while it's down in the lower position, it actually will chew up this piece of plastic, which is called a ratchet. This little piece right here is Lee's finest engineering on this ratchet piece. It's just a piece of plastic, it's a square, and it holds the indexing rod in position in the handle up, in the ram lowered position, and this little plastic collar holds that to the ram here in the middle. So it all connects there with one screw, and if you start turning and twisting that thing, the turret, to try to get that to index properly, that's where you start having problems. I'll get into that a little bit more, but basically the reason I kind of have my brass separated and what I do is I use this tool, primer, pocket cleaner. And this is also nice because once I clean it, I can also tell if it's going to be the right size primer. So there is some 45 brass that is set up for small primers. And when that happens, I just put that off to the side in my other bucket here, and I continue on with the large primers. So this cleaner, it just helps ensure that I get a good seat on my primers, on the new primers, and it also helps me inspect the brass. If there's any cracks, if there's some pieces that are just deformed to the point that I don't think it's going to be safe to reload, I can throw it off to the side here. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to try to show you guys how to make the adjustment to the rod here to index the turret, to position the indexing properly. So basically, we're just going to remove the turret, and we will also now remove the rod. And in frame, you use the turret to hold the top of the rod in position, and then you just grab it with the wrench. And then what I found is if you just turn clockwise just a hair, I mean, you don't want to turn it very much, and then it takes maybe a couple of times to figure out the right location, the right position to have it line up, because every time you throw the arm here, of course, it should just line right up to the next position. And if you're having problems with that, that's the best way that I found to make the adjustment. And that's it. So just got to kind of play with that rod there and make small adjustments. Don't try to make half a turn or anything like that. It's very, very small turns that's needed to adjust that rod. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps. Anybody has any questions or input, please leave a comment, and we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.